Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast, sort of, for the film fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. Not today. With us, as always, of course, I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, my co-host, and guy who's trying to shake me down.
Hey, buddy! I'm here. I'm gonna help you record the podcast.
Oh,
and
I mean, that's,
I'm gonna
I
need
can
10
do it.
points.
10
you know?
Points of what?
Off the score.
10 point, like 10, like internet points?
No, you know, percent.
What? Whoa!
I don't know
Money.
if I can do that.
I'm gonna fucking break your knees, kiddo.
Oh, uh-oh. Well, with us as always, of course, our other co-host and friendly boss, who's definitely never going to betray me, Keo Ryan.
Yeah, sure. 2 or 3 jobs and you're done. That's how we're gonna do our business.
Well, how can I argue with that?
Well, that's like a B+ voice. Good job.
Yeah, it almost
by
sounds
the
like
way,
an old man.
My name is actually Disinformation Daniel, and I like to spread, cheeky lies, especially on the internet. Did you guys know that Thief was actually a made-for-TV movie?
Why
Not
would you
true,
do that?
But very funny.
There were a lot of reports that Michael Mann was dejected that it was rejected from the film houses and had to go to television instead.
What has brought this upon you?
What do you mean? What's the
one
problem?
become like this?
Are you reading fake trivia?
Well, I'm just giving you some, interesting tidbits.
Did you know that originally the screenplay included a 6-hour sex scene between James Caan and James Belushi?
On the beach, yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, that was a different sex scene. I'm talking about the one in the back of his car.
The movie also originally had an entire concert performed by Willie Nelson.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Fuck you.
There's also an entire scene where you saw Robert Prosky's exposed genitalia.
They really managed to cut a lot of that out of this movie because this movie was extremely sexless.
That's true.
Yeah, true. Something that he would improve upon in further films.
Yeah. Besides The Insider.
True.
I mean, they have that whole, the whole plot with the lady, and he does not express any sexual desire towards her whatsoever.
Come on, I'm a stand-up guy. Come on, show me your tits. Get them out there. Come on.
I feel like it's implied, dude. They're up to stuff.
I mean, it's implied that they have sex because that's just a normal thing to do.
I mean, the opening 5 minutes of Heat, you get to see Al Pacino laying pipe.
It's true. It's what this movie needed.
Yeah, it's not implied in the movie that there's nothing going on, off camera, but it's also not even suggested that there's something actually happening. It's just a social norm that you would expect from people who are married to do.
Okay, so what if you didn't get a sex scene with James Caan in this movie, but you did get one with Jim Belushi?
James Belushi.
Yeah, sorry, James Belushi. This is pre-according to Jim,
yes.
So he goes by James here.
I thought
they're the same person. James and Jim are the same name.
I thought there was a good Belushi who died young.
No, that's
John Belushi.
John Belushi, you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
John Belushi was a good one.
This was the bad one.
The not funny one, but surprisingly good in dramatic roles, I guess, if this is any indication.
Yeah, I would probably scrub through that to see when it was over, probably.
Yeah, you know how some VHS tapes are all fucked up because someone's pausing to look at boobs? It'd be like stress marks from the fast forwarding instead.
That's incredible. Yeah, so of course we're talking about a movie this week. Michael Mann's
What?
Thief, his debut feature.
I thought this was just episode 1 of like a TV show.
Oh, you
No,
thought
it's
there was
over.
more after this? So,
I thought this was just setup.
you thought this was just a really long pilot?
It was just an hour long. Time flew by.
Oh,
watching.
actually, it was 2 hours
well,
long.
I guess if you ended the hour, what even happens if you ended the hour mark? They haven't gotten to the heist yet.
No.
Is even,
Yeah, it was just set up for the heist.
Is he even
They were gonna
hired
have
by that
next
point?
episode.
I think he decided to do
Yeah.
it. I don't even know if he's gotten the kid at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you watch half of a movie, it definitely can feel like an hour of a TV show.
I
Right.
guess,
True, many
yeah.
have been saying this.
It's like a 2-episode
honestly,
TV
like-
show.
Like, if I showed you the first hour of this movie and told you this was like a 12-episode series,
I'd be like, wow, this is very high production for a TV
Yeah.
show.
I'd be like, this,
Like-
this looks pretty good for a TV show in the 80s. The early 80s.
This looks
Even.
pretty good for a TV show now.
Well, I mean, but especially in the 80s, if you were watching this on TV, your mind would, your head would explode.
okay, just pretend that the camera is more static and they don't have any good shots of the city.
Why are we even bothering? Come on.
If you took out all the good shots of the city, the movie would be 60 minutes long.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, if
Stop.
the same exact plot of the first hour happened, you would believe it was a TV
Hey,
show.
what
You
if
would
this
not.
was a complete pile of crap?
I like the theory that Keo's going with here, which is, what if this sucked?
What if this was Tulsa King?
Okay, you guys are asking too many questions. I'm just talking about the plot of the first
Which
hour.
now that I think about
If
it, sort of
told you it
is
was-
Michael Mann's Black Cat.
No, I'm gonna play in Keo's space here instead of knocking over his little sandcastle. I'm gonna, yeah, I like the idea of people starting, because people say now, like, oh, our show's not a TV show, it's like a 12-hour movie. I want people to be like, this isn't a movie, this is a 2-hour TV show.
I mean, they have made 12-hour
No.
movies like War and Peace.
No, but really, like this movie is very backloaded. The climax happens in the last minute of the film.
Yeah. Oh, and incredibly so. This is what I like to call a vibes movie.
Yes.
I would say, and dare I say, I'm sure I am the first to even think of this. About 90 to 100% of vibes movies made today have taken something from this film.
Interesting. Well, take me to film class once, and let's start with the recap, shall we?
Oh, you just want to do the recap right now? Just want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do the recap right now.
You don't even want me to say.
You don't want to talk about which Michael Mann film is the least vibes-based?
Well, the thing is, I have little to say in that conversation as a TV and film novice. I don't even know who Michael Mann is, and I'm not even
He
confirmed
made Heat?
that he was even. I don't even know if he was on this movie. I can't confirm that, honestly.
I mean,
I
at
mean,
the
I
end it
don't
does say Thief, a Michael Mann company, James Caan company
Well,
production.
Well, I mean, you could have edited that onto
Oh,
Yeah,
I could
true.
have. Would I do that?
there. So this movie opens with a cameo from Michael Mann.
Yeah,
he's
it
thanking you
opens
for
up
coming
with
to the
him.
theaters
Yeah,
despite the pandemic.
yeah, he tells everyone that he's grateful for them to
Of
be there to
HIV.
see his movie. Thief, starring James Caan.
And he thanks Ronald Reagan for solving the pandemic.
yeah,
Doing such a great job.
yeah. In 1981.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I mean, we'll get to it in a second here, Keo. Let's not jump the gun here.
Okay.
Let's give the people what they come here for at the
What
end.
do they come here for?
Let's give it to them Thief style
Okay.
by backloading it.
By
Make
talking
them-
about a very grimy city street, but with the most
Yeah.
beautiful reflections of light in the puddle of piss water you've ever seen.
Is this what Chicago looks like, Star?
Yes.
Okay, good. He's captured it. It hasn't changed in the 40 years since.
No. I think it might smell a little better.
Oh, okay. But this is a movie brought to you, of course, by our Buy Me a Coffee. Over at buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners is where you can go. A single coffee gives you a single episode for us to discuss about anything. This was purchased by some guy. So I don't know.
It's just too bad that the government is in control of Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah. They barely let us watch this.
Well, this film is very anti-authoritarian.
It's true.
It's probably going to be banned in the next couple of years by the Biden-Harris administration.
Stare, what is the Michael Mann film with the least vibes?
I was going to say Ali, but that film opens with a montage. So...
Are montages vibes now?
I mean, there's no dialogue. It's just images accompanied by music. How's that not a vibe? How's a montage not a vibe, Keo?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what a vibe is, because now you're like, when I think of vibes, I think of just like, not a whole lot of motion, just kind of like soaking in the experience.
Like when the camera's pointed at the ocean.
Right, that's a vibe.
It's like,
but not like a training montage, for example, is not a vibe. That's like an experience.
Well, it's not a training montage.
Journey.
It's like Muhammad Ali's formative years.
Well, okay, I wasn't saying specifically that was a training montage, but as an example, that's a type of montage, and that's not a vibe at all.
Are there vibes in The Last of the Mohicans? I've never seen
that. I think that film is very heavy on the beauty of the natural world, I would say.
Okay.
I guess it would have to be Black Hat is the least vibes.
Okay. I don't know. The Keep. I've always heard The Keep is pretty bad.
I've never seen The
Michael
Keep.
Mann films.
It's a Michael Mann film I haven't seen.
It's a poor film, or it just doesn't have a lot of vibes?
Well, it's one and the same usually.
Well, the one thing is, it's also a horror film, so it's outside of his usual fare.
I would argue horror films do need vibes, though. Just like bad vibes.
Bad vibes, yeah.
Which is why I feel like
some people call that tension, but I don't know.
I think the scariest thing Michael Mann's ever put to film is that one scene in The Insider where the guy's in the parking lot, and like at the other end is another guy just staring at him.
The Insider, another one I haven't seen.
That's too scary. I don't like parking lots.
Although I would say there's a lot of scary scenes in Manhunter that come to my mind.
Like the scene where he's explaining to his kid at the grocery store his psychological trauma from hunting a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw one other Michael Mann thing. It was Tokyo Vice President.
Yes.
That's right, yeah. Very, very Michael Mann. Unlike Thief, front-loaded. Because Michael Mann only does the one episode. And then he's like, bye, I have to go make a Ferrari movie.
About Mr. Ferrari.
Mr. Ferrari himself, yeah. The movie's called Ferrari, but it should be called Mr. Ferrari.
Is it about the inventor of the Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And probably,
wow.
I bet it's going to be like 10 times better than Oppenheimer.
Yeah, probably. Adam Driver is playing Ferrari.
Oh, that's interesting.
He likes to drive.
Yeah.
I looked at a picture of Ferrari on Wikipedia, and he's an old man who looks sort of like Joe Biden. Or the mob boss in this movie.
Yeah, he does look like Robert Prosky. But as a young man, he does not look anything like Adam Driver, I'll say that much.
Oh, he's got a weird face.
I guess that's true. Those are connecting features. I wonder if there's going to be like a big scene where Enzo Ferrari is like, Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari is like yelling at his car, being like, I wish you were dead!
If you can't give me 60 cc's, we're done. Is that a lot for a car?
I don't know. Do they measure cars in cc's?
I don't know.
Isn't that like fluid? A medical... Wait. When you talk about like CCs, you're talking about like how many CCs of some kind of like medicine or something you need.
Yeah, isn't that that's like a doctor terminology, not a horsepower or like miles per hour? Sonic's friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not want Stairmaster to be my doctor if I get sick.
No, it sounds bad. He'd be like, give him
it's
38
over.
miles per hour of this. And everyone would just stare and disbelieve.
Let's see. A CC is a cubic centimeter, which is oftentimes used to measure medicine. CCs are also mentioned in engines.
Huh. Okay. Vindication for Stairmaster.
Yeah, Stairmaster is absolutely correct, and I made a fool of myself mocking him.
Yeah, we're all fools.
For his terminology.
Some car expert has been yelling at us this whole time. Perhaps Enzo Ferrari himself. But of course, if you have any questions, foresights, quips, comments, otherwise, you can send them to us at our email address, and we'll read them aloud on the podcast. That's right, folks. All you got to do is go over to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com and send your emails to us right away. What's that email, Keanu?
Well, the email address is tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com, but I would advise you not to send any messages to it because it has been wiretapped by the U.S. government.
I'm just going to run the faucet and hope that it...
We're being suppressed, Swanson.
Oh, no.
We're trying to get the word out there, but, you know.
You know how it is, guys.
They are monitoring us and suppressing us.
And you know who we mean by that.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Reddit.
Yeah. If you were thinking of any groups of people, no. Shame on you. It wasn't any particular group of people so much as a collection.
It's just people who talk about Cake Day a lot.
Yeah, it's people online who are of no specific race or gender or social group, other than they like one app.
Well, are Reddit? Yeah, would you consider Redditors to be a social group though?
No, an antisocial group. Hey, how about that, guys?
Hey, like they have their own culture and their own currency.
It's true. Yeah, how's their currency doing for them right now?
Are we talking about Reddit still?
Yeah, Reddit Gold.
I think it's an all-time high.
Wow. All right. Good on them. How many CCs is that?
2.
Oh, all-time
2
high.
cubic centimeters of Reddit Gold.
Yeah, they had to devalue it.
Yeah.
So they had to
that makes sense.
remove some from the money supply.
And before we get into our big deal here, before we get into talking about this movie, let's talk about other things you might have watched. It's been a little bit since we've recorded, so what'd you guys watch? Anything interesting? Fun?
Well, I watched Mississippi Burning with Willem Dafoe and Gene Hackman.
Oh, okay.
It's about 2 FBI agents in the 1960s who come down to Mississippi to investigate the mysterious disappearance of 3 civil rights activists.
Oh, that probably ends well for...
It's like immediately obvious that the cops killed them. But they keep getting stonewalled by the local justice system.
Huh. I wonder what could have inspired this, I wonder.
It's alright. It's a little bit ruined by... I mean, William Dafoe is such... The film is like Gene Hackman's the wise guy, the wizened elder cop, while Willem Dafoe is wet behind the ears, doesn't know what he's doing, but since it's William Dafoe, it's like, I want him to be making the decisions. I want him to be respected, regardless of whether or not he's actually making the right choices. Because I love him.
Who doesn't?
Why do you support this person?
It's Willem Dafoe. He's Jesus Christ.
He's the Green Goblin.
He makes a lot of bad decisions. I don't trust
As a person?
Yes, as a person.
Now, would this be a better movie if instead it was Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson trying not to kill / fuck each other?
Yes. 100%. That'd be a 5-star. That'd be 2 extra stars right away.
Wow. Okay, so this is a 3-star movie.
I meant
I did
3.5,
math.
maybe.
Oh, okay. So is that a tune-in?
I guess it's a tune-in as long as you don't mind hearing the N-word a lot.
Uh-oh.
Which Stairmaster is known to not mind at
No,
all.
he like nods in agreement.
I wince.
Oh yeah, he like
I'm
makes
like-
audible noise.
I shed like a single tear. And like all the background noise just fades away and you hear like some African singing. Like some
It's why he
Black
can
Hawk
never listen
Down
to rap
type.
music.
Oh no, that's different. That's Soft
For-
Day.
For every N-word Stairmaster hears, he spends an hour at like a slavery memorial museum.
Yeah, and I have a guy
Yeah,
with me.
For every hard R and word he hears.
Right.
That's a reminder, folks. There's nothing stopping you from using that word in your emails to us.
I mean,
There's nothing physically stopping you.
Yeah, that's true. There's
Yeah,
The government will let you send that. They don't care.
mentally, I would say something should stop you.
Some kind of like inhibition, maybe.
But we'll find out real quick, and you'll find out on the podcast when I say, Keo, can you read this email for us this week?
Sounds like an interesting experience.
Well, now I know a very easy April Fool's prank Swanson can do this year.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, just hand Keo a regular email.
So Keo would be expecting it the entire time, and it just never happens.
Like you're like, oh, this week we got a doozy here. Keo has to read it, and it's just normal. It's just from Geo, and he just has to get the fun question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a normal email. That's good. Well, now that we ruined it, I can't. But anything else there?
Yeah, I won't fall for it.
Yeah, I think that's all I watched that was worth talking about.
Oh, okay. I'll go with. I'm gonna go. I have a couple things to talk about, so I'm gonna go in order of least to talk about to most to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I watched Mank. I just watched Citizen Kane.
Yeah, that
Instead.
sounds about right.
That's it. That's really all I gotta say about that movie. Actually, one more thing that a thought crossed my mind when I was thinking about it. Would have made a better documentary.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
No, it would have made a better
Oh,
documentary.
okay.
It would have made a better
I have
documentary.
no idea what you're talking about. What is Citizen Kane?
Citizen Kane is a movie about a guy with this, like a chair or something.
It's about a guy who's
Okay.
like a publishing magnate, and then he does a bunch of stuff, and it's about
And then he dies
his
alone.
life. Yeah.
And also plagiarizes The Room. With the
That doesn't sound like a vibe.
That's right. Yeah, it plagiarizes The Room. True rancid vibes throughout Citizen Kane, arguably on purpose.
It's a film about toxic masculinity.
Yes, technically.
Oh, we don't have enough of those.
Let's see. What else do I want to talk about in order of what most to talk about to least? I watched another Coen Brothers movie. This time, one of their 2 bad ones.
Oh.
They've done like 20 something films, and they've only done 2 real bad ones, from what I understand, and they were back to back. This first one isn't bad so much as it's average, which means it's bad for them.
Uh-huh.
They tried to do a romantic comedy with George Clooney called Intolerable Cruelty. And it's,
What is...
the title does not make it sound like it's going to be a romantic comedy, for one, but also they're trying to do like the old screwball comedies of like the 40s, but it doesn't really work. The premise itself sounds like it has legs, but it doesn't really. So George Clooney plays a divorce attorney who's like the best divorce attorney in the world. Like he's so world renowned that he has they name a special kind of prenup after him because it's foolproof. And this lady who is married because she's planning on catching her husband in an act of infidelity and then getting all of his money, or like a sizable portion of it, he takes on her husband as a client and like humiliates her in court, and so she decides she's going to get revenge on him, and that's the meat. That's the meat cute between the two of them. And like, there's some fun potential there, but it just sort of gets bogged down by a lot of just weird twists and turns. Like a hitman gets involved at some point, which is a very Coen Brothers touch.
Well, it's based on a true story. You can't really criticize it.
True.
It's true. Yeah, it is.
It's
actually
based on the novel The Home Invader.
That's right. Yeah, and you can't track down the novel, but it is based on it, and that's true. I guess it's not even a fake fact.
It's literally what happened.
Yeah.
So, like, you're criticizing, oh, the plot had too many twists and turns, and this was unbelievable. No. It was just what happened.
But I think the crime that it commits most is that it is just it's a film anybody could have made. And when I'm watching a Coen Brothers film, I'm not thinking anybody could make this.
I made it.
So you were sitting there saying I could make this.
I made it.
Yeah, I could have made that film.
I let them take credit for it.
Wow, that was very nice.
Because you weren't proud of it?
Yeah,
I'm kind of
pretty much.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm super impressed that you made this because this was in 2001.
Yeah, I've gone downhill since my voice dropped.
Was like,
that was a busy year for
you. He was like a little boy. He was like,
we have to title it Intolerable Cruelty. It's a legalistic term because they're lawyers.
Now, 2001, that was the year you stopped being into planes, right?
Yeah. I think we all stopped being into planes in 2001.
You became a train guy that
after
year.
that fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Semester made a sharp pivot to trains after the whole thing happened.
Yeah, and of course the fall he's talking about is when Shrek fell from number 1 in box office.
Yeah, to Digimon the movie.
Yeah. Shrek, a movie that came out, I think, right before 9/11.
Coincidence?
It's a pre-9/11 movie. Unlike this,
anyone at home
Intolerable Cruelty.
was distraught. I've always been a train guy. We're just doing a bit. Don't worry.
It's true.
I am exactly the kind of loser you think I am.
But that's a tune out on Intolerable Cruelty. I think I would give it a tune out. Tune out on Mank too, if it wasn't clear. But over in TV land, I watched a little TV show.
Okay.
It's called Reservation Dogs. It was pretty good. It's about it bills itself as being produced by Taika Waititi, but his normal sort of comedy is not present at all in this. Which it's probably good. It's probably a good thing. Instead, this is a show about a couple of teenagers who are living on a reservation in Oklahoma who are, let's say, not doing the best. And what we learn throughout these 2 seasons that I've watched is that it's not just them not doing the best. It turns out there's a whole community of people who are all just sort of trying to live a meager existence.
Yeah, that sounds like the reservation experience.
And it manages to be both very like heart-rending and funny. And yeah, it manages to find like the some inner peace at random moments that I think is very good. It's one of the most unpredictable shows I think I've watched in a long time. Like for one moment in the same episode, they'll be dealing with like their feelings on a friend's passing, and then the next, like, the mythical deer lady will show up and like kill some people.
Oh no!
God, I wish that was me.
Well, she only kills bad people. Don't worry.
God, I wish that was me.
So you're saying I have a chance?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how bad you're being, but yeah.
Like, how bad we talking? Like, we talking like murder?
Sure.
Like, I mean,
I mean,
What
when
about
she's
just,
introduced, she's only been in a couple episodes, but when she's introduced, she is, and it's via a flashback, and she is killing a robber.
I don't think we're evil enough for that, honestly.
Yeah, we only thieve. Don't rob.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's fine, I think. Thieving is fine.
So burglars, like, she'll just give it a pass, but
Right.
robbers, it's like, no.
But yeah, it's a good show.
So is that a tune-in or not, Swanson? You're being really ambiguous.
By saying it's a good show
Would you
numerous
say
times.
it's worth watching?
I would say it's worth watching, yeah.
Whoa, what type of terminology are we using here?
I don't know. It just
WW?
came to me.
What could that mean? Anyway, yeah, tune in on that. Last but not least, I've been pretty busy these couple weeks, guys.
And by busy, you mean not busy at all because you're watching a bunch of TV.
I guess, sure.
I've been out here with my lunch pail, my hard hat. I've been building this country.
Yeah.
And you're watching TV.
What do you do again, Keo?
I'm a construction worker.
What are you constructing?
Well, they put Keo in charge of harassing the women who walk by the site.
Oh, that's a lucrative position, yeah.
Yeah, I learned how to whistle.
Wow.
Can
Yeah,
you
because they
whistle?
do have to have a guy who does that.
Oh, wow. I wish I could whistle.
They need a guy that's like, "Hey, toots!"
Yeah, I've been that cartoon wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been hanging out with
Yeah.
We all know him. We don't... Perhaps
know
he has
who
a
you-
name, but we
we know
don't
that
know
guy.
it. But we know him.
Yeah, we know who you mean.
Yeah, you ever heard of like the Japanese term sensei?
Oh, he's been like giving you like a training arc.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good because I had heard you do some catcalling when you first started out, and it was pretty bad. You were like, "Hey, those legs would look good in my car."
Hey, show Bob. Show Bob.
Well, that was actually day 3 after I got some more practice down. Day
Oh.
1, I was like, "Hello, you're looking lovely today."
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was too polite. Is the thing, Keo? Yeah, you got to be discriminating, and that's what the wolf told you.
Yeah, like I've had the police call on me twice now.
Oh,
Oh, what are they going to do?
that's good.
They opened fire once.
Well, yeah, that tracks. I think. Anyway, it's a tune in on Reservation Dogs.
Nice.
I don't even remember if that's what we were still talking about.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to make
that's
sure
a good
people knew.
movie. Reservoir Dogs.
I think you were saying like you were about to announce that you were watched yet another show, and I was.
Yeah, it had John Travolta
Wow.
in it, right? As Mr. He was the crazy one who chopped
That's
the guy's
right,
ear
yeah.
off.
You're right. And last but not least, I watched a movie, Kioran.
What?
That's right. I watched
The Thief by Michael Mann.
sort of. It's this person also does crime.
Oh?
I watched Emily the Criminal.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. It stars Aubrey Plaza as the titular criminal.
Damn, girl, you're a female and a criminal?
That's hot. It also stars that guy, Keo, who wore the shades all the time on Luke Cage.
That guy.
You know that guy? The guy who they called Shades, I think.
Oh my god! Like this is like in the back of my mind somewhere. Like
I had to look up
Deep,
who he
deep
was
down.
because I saw him and I was like, he's familiar. He's playing an entirely different character. For one, he's not wearing any sunglasses
how would I recognize him?
because his face is the same.
Okay, but what was he from?
He's from Luke Cage. He's in this movie.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he,
He was
plays
the guy
Emily.
who wore sunglasses. He did like stuff. I think he was a bad
Oh.
guy. I don't remember.
He killed those guys in an elevator.
All of the Marvel Did I say Marvel?
Yes.
All the Marvel Netflix shows I binge watched, and now they are just a blur.
That's for the
It's true.
best.
Yeah, it's literally best case scenario, I think. But
I remember this guy. Oh my god, I remember this guy. He was around. He did a couple things.
yeah, he shows up in this movie as sort of a sensei for Aubrey Plaza's character, Emily, who gets into the fake credit card scheme business.
Based.
It's a pretty good movie. Very the plot goes in the direction you expect it to go, and it doesn't change it at any point. But it's well made, and it's got some good messages on how it sucks to live in late stage capitalism, similar to 1981's Thief.
How long does late stage capitalism last anyway?
Since the Nixon administration, probably. Would probably be a good date.
I mean, I guess it was
How long
going
is it
real
gonna-
well in the 80s. And then it wasn't.
How long is this going to be going on again? When's it scheduled to they're going to do I don't know, regular stage capitalism?
Oh, sorry, buddy. No, we're that
It's
was
more like stage 4 capitalism, I think, is the correct
yeah,
term.
that's where we're at. It's true. I guess in Thief it was what, stage 3?
Yeah. Since he could own
Let's
a
go
home. That's stage 3 capitalism.
Yeah.
Let's go to mercantilism or something.
Yeah, you're right. We gotta have the balance of trade.
Yeah. There's also a good deal in Emily the Criminal about student debts. That's part of the reason why she turns to crime, is having to pay for her student loans off and being unable to get a job outside of part-time work.
Wow, this actually looks pretty based. Mercantilism, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm illiterate. It's an economic policy that is designed to maximize the exports and minimize the imports for an economy. It promotes imperialism,
True.
colonialism,
Oh.
tariffs,
True.
Yeah.
and subsidies on traded goods to achieve that goal.
These are all things we need to bring back, yeah. These are all systems that worked before and can work again.
And they're sustainable too.
It's true. They're sustainable. That's why everyone's doing them now.
Yes.
But yeah, I would just tune in on Emily the Criminal. That's it.
The end.
The end. And now,
Wow.
From
What a
what-
great episode of TV Tuners
from a
this
criminal
was.
to a thief.
Wait a minute. We didn't get to our main event.
That's
The
right.
recap.
It's time for our main event. We watched the film by one Michael Kenneth Mann.
Allegedly.
And now we're gonna talk about it. That's right. It's Thief. Starring James
They've been
Caan.
telling us that this was. They've been saying this is made by Michael Mann. Every copy of this movie has had his name added to it.
Are you
Well,
saying this
that-
is like a Mandela effect sort of thing, Keo?
Well, Mandela is like a cosmic
A Michael
thing that,
Mandela?
I don't think anyone's controlling the Mandela effect. It's just like a cosmic effect that is happening. If you look at your box of Fruit Loops,
They spell it different.
okay, it's spelled How do you spell Fruit Loops? Well, you're wrong. It's spelled FROOTLUIPS.
I was about to make that same joke.
it's-
Good job.
It's true. They never done that, and they didn't. They used to not spell it like that,
It's spelled differently.
and now they spell it like that. But yeah, Michael Mann's Thief, starring James Caan as Thief, and James
his name?
Belushi as
Friend.
Thief Friend. That's right. His
I
first
don't
film
know the
role.
character's name, so it might as well be Thief. Honestly,
His name is Frank.
this is not a real name.
It's true. It's it's a name you give yourself. You call me Frank. Let me be Frank.
Yeah, it's like a name for a guy you made up.
It's true, and it's perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get we open up just with a great shot here of the rain coming down in the alleyway and all that.
Yeah.
The vibes
Talk
are
about vibes.
immediate. It's amazing that
They even made vibes out of like breaking into a safe. That was even vibes.
Yeah, when the shot, there's like the camera shot that goes inside the drilled hole.
Yeah, that's fucking incredible.
It's fucking diabolical. That's what that is. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. One of the great trademarks from Michael Mann, and it's here right at the beginning, is that he shows you the work that people do with their jobs. Like when
He shows you how to commit the crimes.
It's true, and this is not one of Keogh's facts. This is one of the real true facts.
Michael Mann facts.
It's a true Michael Mann fact, which is that he hired actual thieves to learn how to, so that he knew he was getting the techniques right.
Michael Mann actually spent, like, what was it?
12 years in prison.
12 years in prison after a 2-year stint engaged in organized crime.
Oh no, he spent 12
just to
years in
make this
prison
movie.
so he could understand James Caan's character.
That's right.
Well, after spending 2 years doing organized crime,
Yeah, and he did.
he went to jail for a reason, and it was serious conviction. That's why he got 12 years. He didn't just like what do you think he did? Just told them, "Hey, put me in the prison." It's not how prison works.
True.
I just like the idea that Michael Mann was like, yeah, hey, you guys know any real life thieves I could hire real quick? Hey, so when you're thieving, what do you guys use?
Well, from what I heard, what he did was he bought a safe and put like some diamonds in it and like left it somewhere, and like he had like a net over it. And when the thieves came to break into it, the net fell and caught him, and he was like, "You work for me now."
Like, yeah, he's actually the inspiration for Robert Prosky's character comes from Michael Mann himself. Yeah, like a giant net fell, and then he like came out from the shadows and like slowly clapped. It was like, "Good work, boys. You work for me. Now you're gonna tell me how you do it, so I can put it on film." In painstaking detail.
Yeah, I mean, he's really committed to his craft. He even died. Like, he even experienced getting shot to death just to film it properly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, some people get real fucked up in this movie.
it's true. Yeah, he experienced. He did the getting shot with a shotgun blast
Yeah.
without a bulletproof vest, and then he did it with the bulletproof vest to see what the reaction would be, so he could
Yeah, so he would,
recreate
so he
it.
could coach his actors who would be
Yeah.
wearing the bulletproof vest.
You're gonna fall to the ground in pain.
No, not
You're gonna make this face.
And Keo made a really funny face for those who are listening to the podcast who haven't paid for the video. Which all of our videos, of course, for the podcast up on OnlyFans.com.
Yeah, we're well, you know what we're doing.
Yeah, you get the idea, I think. But yeah, he's cracking into the safe. He's finding some diamonds. I think the thing I enjoy most about these scenes where they're breaking into stuff is that they just like throw shit around as long if it's not what they want.
yeah.
They're not wasting any time. They're not trying to be like,
This crew's good.
That's like extremely disrespectful. I would set it aside neatly,
yeah.
and I would also leave it. I would leave an apology note saying like, "I'm really sorry for stealing this, but I needed the money."
I'd put a
Because-
little note saying this isn't what I wanted, but so I'm putting it here for you.
Do you think there's just thugs heading up your local 7-Eleven? No, these guys are professionals.
It's true.
Throwing stuff.
Yeah.
That's not a
Well,
professional.
Well, they're focused on the thing with the highest cash yield.
Well, I mean, the crime has already been committed, Keo. You don't need to like clean up after it. That's their job when they come in and notice a crime has been committed.
I think that's not cool. Like, I have to teach these guys some manners. How do I get into this movie? Like,
Hey, buddy.
I have it open.
Hey, buddy, you're
Wait,
being
wait,
real
wait.
disrespectful to the property owner.
Wait, guys, seriously, I got the movie on here, but how do I get in? How do I get in here?
Oh, you're
It's
not
an
ready for that.
experience, Keo. You can't get into it. You just gotta let it wash over you.
So you're saying I can't go inside the movie?
I mean,
Not yet.
not without the
Sure.
help of some strong psychedelics.
You're not ready.
Okay, well, I gotta go get ready for this.
So yeah, he
That's a tune out on Thief, anyways. Bye, guys.
Bye.
he does the score, and he's already making the moves to get some big time money. He's talking to his buddy, his doomed buddy, who's gonna give his diamonds to
What's his name? It's like Gatsby.
Joey Gags,
Joey Gags.
which is that's a great name right there.
That's the name for a guy who's gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he has this one scene and he's immediately dead.
He
the
has
next
like
time.
3 lines of dialogue as
Yeah,
well.
and then like immediately afterwards, Jim Belushi is calling James Caan and being like, "Hey man, Joe Gags is dead." And so Frank is a little perturbed because he's dead, but his money was on Gags. So he has to go and find this guy, Ataglia, another great name. What I like about this movie is there's a lot of guys who just have names that are good to shout. Ataglia!
Yeah. I like to see them
Sure.
shouting things back and forth.
Yeah. Arizzi! Arizzi! It's a great name to shout.
Camille!
There should have been a Camille in this. Imagine.
That's a girl's name.
Hey, now,
Yeah, there's
don't
girls
say
in this
that.
movie.
Don't say that. Millions might die. If you do.
They have one girl in this movie.
2, technically, but 1 only speaks.
Well, it's a social worker.
There's plenty of female extras, but there's only one.
Well, I was thinking about James Belushi seems to have a love interest who is like around, but says I don't think she has any lines of dialogue.
All right, that's what I'm saying. There's only one like speaking female in the entire.
It's true. This
Movie.
movie canceled.
Canceled. Bechdel test failed.
Failed. This movie failed. But yeah, Ataglia. He meets up with this guy Ataglia. I just like the demeanor from when he walks into the office to how he leaves it. Because he walks in all calm and collected. He's like, "Yeah, I need to see Ataglia about some plating I got." And they direct him to the back, and the guy's like, "Yeah, who are you?" He's like, "I'm your fucking worst nightmare, bitch."
He's like, well, no, first he's like, hey, you have my money.
Yeah, he does
And
play
he's
it
like-
calm at first.
And he's just like, "Oh, I run a legitimate business. I
I
don't
was
know
like,
what you're
no,
talking about."
this is my money. I consider this very important to me.
Yeah, and
Relatable.
this
And
guy,
he's like, "Fuck off."
right away we get the idea of what this guy's whole deal is. Right, he's got to make that money. He's on
What's
that,
his is
that
his.
mindset. Yeah, what's his is his, and he's gonna get it one way or another. And Ataglia finds out real quick. I like that. Ataglia is obviously like a little pissed off that this whole thing happens to him because the rest of the movie, every time he has a scene where James Caan shows up, he's always like, "This fucking guy." Like he's just waiting for the moment where he gets the permission to kill him, and then it goes poorly for him after that. But still, but yeah, he asks for his money back, and he's like, "Listen, I run a legitimate business here," and he pulls out a gun. And Ataglia's 2 goons show up, and they're like, they see he has a gun. They're like, "Yeah, just listen to the guy." And he's like, "You're gonna give me my money or else." And then he leaves, and he leaves holding the gun the entire time, just through the door and out.
As you would.
He's got his guard fully up.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah,
he's
he
ready
causes
for like things to go
he causes
down.
an office lady to spill her coffee
Yes.
on
yeah.
the way out.
Imagine being a Taglia after that and having to go out and explain what the fuck that was.
Oh, I feel like they all know that was going to happen one day.
I guess they probably know what their boss does, right?
I mean, his name is Antaglia.
Yeah. Yeah, so this leads us to the appearance of is this where he meets? I think Willie Nelson shows up here is where he meets his old pal Okra or Okla. But yeah, he there's a little subplot here sort of with Willie Nelson where he's a guy he met in jail and he's trying to get out of jail, but he's old and feeble and he dies at some point.
He's dying, that's why he wants to get out of jail urgently.
Yeah, there is a good scene during this subplot where we see the guy who's working on getting his release and the judge, and they're talking back and forth, but they're they're holding up the amount of fingers on each other's face to sort of negotiate a price for paying him off.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fun.
I really thought that was weird. The hand gestures they were doing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's because you can't say it out loud. So they're just doing the hand gestures to each other. To see
I thought that not Jeff.
That's why he goes from 3 fingers on each hand to 4.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I think there's even like a line about it afterwards where Frank is like, "How much did it cost?" or something like that. But yeah, it's like the only subplot in the movie, really, and it sort of ends in at the halfway point of the movie.
Well, there's also a subplot of him trying to start a family.
I mean, but that's like intricately tied to the actual plot of the movie.
So that's like the inciting incident. That's sort of like his talk with Oakley is what gets him to work with the mob boss, David Pasty.
I guess you're right. Yeah. I mean, I saw it more as like a sort of representation of where he could easily be again.
Things could be multiple things.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's more what I was looking at it as when I was watching the movie instead of anything like that.
I was viewing it as like a moment to humanize him as well.
Yeah, true. Because everything with his wife does not really do anything to humanize him. I guess a little. I mean, the diner scene humanizes him, but like everything with the child does not.
No, that's just kind of creepy, honestly.
But yeah, and Frank has a date with this diner lady,
who he's late because first he has a meeting with the mob boss to get his money back.
Yeah,
and immediately the cops are watching them.
Yeah, this is where we first see Rizzy, and I think his first line is literally him saying, "How the hell am I supposed to know?" Because the guy asks who Frank is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it like the cops had them like tapped the whole time and were camping out there because they knew they would meet there?
I think so.
I think
that's the idea. I think they know that.
I think they were keeping tabs on the mob boss.
Yeah. They're keeping tabs on Leo, and I think they realize that they can shake down this new guy.
I think they just heard that the mob guy was going to meet a new guy from like. And they're like, "Oh, we need to figure out who this is so we can shake him down."
Yeah.
Or arrest him.
Me though.
And so he meets with Leo, Robert Prosky, who shows up, and he's immediately like, "Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, pal? What do you do? Hey, how about you work for me, friend?
Hey, let's make some money. Hey, buddy."
Hey. He's like,
I'm gonna help you out.
Here's your money I stole from you. And this is where we start getting a little. I'm going to be honest here. It's pretty easy to spot what the subtext of this movie is because at certain points James Caan just straight up says it in dialogue, which is that this can easily be seen as a movie about laborers and those who exploit them.
Yeah.
And it first crops up here when he's talking with Leo about why he should even be interested. He's like, I'm self-employed. Why do I even need you? And Leo's like, listen, you know, what you're doing is dangerous. You need someone who can do all the hard work for you.
He's like, hey, there's going to be no casing. We're going to just give you the place to go. It'll be easy.
Yeah, he's like, you get a larger profit with me than doing it by yourself, you know. He's like, just think it over, you know, think it over. And
he also assures him that this is important, that he can just work for a bit, and when he's done, he's done.
Yes. And that is what we in the business call a lie.
Yeah, just the boldest possible lie, and a very consequential lie. We'll see towards the end of this movie.
True. Yeah. Yeah. A lie that is consequential for everyone involved. But yeah, he has him think about it, and then we cut to him speeding away, and he meets up with the lady that he's been, Jessie is her name, the lady that he is
Jessie
been trying to see. Hey, that's your name, dude. And
this is like the worst. This is the worst game I've ever seen.
Oh, his?
You mean just like an abduction?
Yeah, he's like talking to her, and
Well,
then a
that
guy
part
erupts,
worked.
and he's like, "You want me to kill you?" And then he like takes her away.
Yeah, the scary thing about his behavior is that it is successful with her.
Yes, yeah. Well, he's being real. He's being honest. And you're telling me if James Caan told you to get in a car with him, and then he started yelling at you about how he's a thief and a criminal, that would want to make you start a life with him?
I would be like, man, I came from the rough streets too, and
Yeah, from Bogota.
Yeah. Yeah, he
And,
It's actually sounds a lot more hardcore than what James Caan went through.
True. Yeah, he goes through has this conversation.
Yeah, they go to the
with her,
coffee
whether-
diner.
Well, I want to talk about the car scene first because I think this is the beginning
Yes.
of like a very good. When he's yelling at her about all the expensive shit he has, and he's like, "Where do you think I get this? From being a car dealer?" Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. He's
and
a
then
better spouse than Tony Soprano, that's for sure.
well, probably
There,
because the
that's like-
marriage doesn't last as long.
it's like one of the lowest bars you could.
Yeah.
He's a better spouse than Homer Simpson because he doesn't like endanger the city of Chicago multiple times.
He's a better
It's like-
spouse
it's like,
than
oh.
Walter White.
It's like, oh, he eats less people than Hannibal.
Yeah, and therefore makes
Another
him a
Michael
better-
Mann film character.
It's true. He invented them.
Invented him.
So yeah. Then they go to this diner scene, which apparently, according to Wikipedia, many people consider the high point of the movie. I would.
It's pretty
Are-
kino.
I mean, from acting standpoint, it's probably the best in the movie, but I think there are better
Sequences, better shots.
like better shot sequences in the movie. But James Caan is just killing it in this scene. It's incredible.
They basically revisit this in Black Hat.
Is it as good?
It's pretty good.
Okay. And also that score by Tangerine Dream is
Yeah.
playing in the background of this scene and through most of the movie, and it's great. Okay, so I got to get this off my chest now while we're talking about the movie. This another proof that the Razzies are illegitimate. This got nominated for a Razzie. The screen,
fuck
the,
them.
the,
What
the
are-
score of the movie.
Do they like to have a justification when they make these things?
I guess the criticism at the time was that it didn't fit with the movie.
What
Which
the
I'd
fuck does
argue
that
is-
mean? What the fuck
That's
does
not-
that mean?
It's supposed to be a noir film, so that's like the perfect sort of soundtrack for like an 80s noir picture.
What did they want? Did they want some big
They-
band?
They wanted a guy going.
Well, apparently, I don't know. Maybe this would have been better for them. But originally, Michael Mann. Originally, Michael Mann wanted to have Chicago blues music played throughout.
Oh no!
Which I feel like would have ruined the vibes.
No, thank you. I didn't. You're just picturing the scene with the safe, but there's like sad saxophone.
I'm glad they did not let him cook.
It would sound like Samurai Cop.
Oh no!
But yeah, instead he decided to do this electronic music, and it works. It's beautiful.
Goated.
It's also very 80s.
Yeah, and I think that like that transports it to a certain time and place. I think it works fine for this.
Well,
film.
also, if this, it has to take place in the 80s, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to afford a house without having
That's
to
true.
do like 5 scores.
He also wouldn't be able to do these crimes probably once you get past like the mid 90s.
The house was just kind of like, oh, here's a special treat for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but today that house would cost like $4 million.
True, which is what I think what the diamonds cost on their own before he gets any money from it. So yeah. Okay, I just thought about this because I was talking about diamonds. Great crossover. He starts working with Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dr. Robotnik.
No, those are emeralds, dummy.
Okay.
Like, could you imagine him being like, "Hey, I got a shipment for you," and Adam Sandler's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna come."
No, he would have like one. There would be like one. They'd have one conversation where he just dresses Adam Sandler down for being a degenerate with no impulse control.
Okay, so Michael Mann directs Uncut Gems. Is it less anxiety producing or more?
Probably less. I get the feeling that Michael Mann likes his vibes, and the reason why that film was so stressful was because
there's no vibes. It's constantly he's constantly hustling and bustling.
Yeah, the film does not like slow down for a minute and like let you like relax a second. It's just like they go to another scene, he's doing something else.
I think Adam Sandler would be in a lot more visceral danger if Michael Mann directed it.
If Thief had the intensity of Uncut Gems, it would be over in like 20 minutes.
Yes.
But yeah, so they have this scene in the diner. He is talking to her about his prison experience. Sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, he had to dodge some berserk stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he talks about how he had to beat some dudes up and show them,
including like the warden, not warden,
yeah.
but
the system,
the captain of the guard.
Yeah,
system appears to have failed this man.
It turns out the system continues to fail him, as we'll learn.
Yeah,
later.
because then we find out he was also raised in a state institution as a child.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because there's a scene later where they're trying to adopt, and obviously he's a criminal. Has a criminal past, so he's not. They're not able to do it, and he goes off.
Not eligible.
And honestly, justified. Justified to be yelling at them.
Oh, well, I would say he was justified not to be adopt.
Oh, no, I'm saying he's justified.
The system worked, that's one time.
I'm saying he's justified because adopting agencies suck.
Oh.
Well, I would say he's justified not to give him the child, though.
Well, yes, but also
he is a violent criminal who wouldn't think twice about just buying a child off the black market.
Yeah.
Luckily, that option does not present itself.
I'm saying he's justified in the rant that he goes on about the adoption agency.
I mean, that's true. Like, he does have a few points about it, but also, no, this guy does not need to be anywhere near a child.
I mean, at least he realizes he doesn't need to be anywhere near a child in the end.
That's true.
Is that what we call character growth?
I'm not sure it's growth. I think he's black-pilled at the end.
Yeah, I think he's
that's
just
development.
That is character development. It doesn't have to be a positive change.
Yeah. But he has this scene in the diner that goes on for a while, but it's like not in a bad way. Like I just mean that like we get the full brunt of like his mindset and his experience. He pulls out this collage that he made. So if you were a lady and you were on a date with a guy and he pulls out a collage of his goals,
this in prison.
What would your thought be?
They sort of revisit this in Collateral with Jamie Lee Foxx's little tropical island photo he has on his dashboard of his taxi.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I don't know what that is, but
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
If I was on a date and the person told me that they were in prison, I would already be like done. But if they showed me a collage with like skulls on it, I would leave.
Yeah.
A collage is just the eclipse from Berserk. The God had
Collateral, another good Michael Mann movie, Keo. It asks the question, what if Tom Cruise was a psychopath?
That would be scary.
Well, watch and find out.
What if you had to run away from Tom Cruise?
Oh,
Is
no.
he fast?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all he does in movies.
That's
run.
that's one of his things is he runs
to the
good
point where
in
I'm pretty
movies.
sure they added a running scene in Top Gun Maverick so he could run instead of he was like running to a plane.
I don't know. I don't think I could get away from him. I think he would catch me.
Well, then you're like Jamie Foxx.
He's the fastest in the movie industry. He should have played Sonic.
Yeah, yeah, it's just him being like, gotta go fast.
Yes. Said, I'm all about
Tom
speed.
Cruise as Sonic the Hedgehog. Got to go fast.
My life
Going
exists
fast.
entirely in the rearview mirror because I'm not slowing down for anything.
She's enamored by his little speech about his life and stuff, and they begin a romance of sorts. Although their romance is not really integral to the plot at all, other than it's something he wants.
Yeah, it shows that he's got some kind of desire to not just be a crime boy, I guess.
I guess you could say there's like some commentary on the American dream here, since that's what he's sort of striving for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is true.
But
I would
the
say
very
it's a big part of the movie.
But the very things that made it possible for him to get in the first place are what ends up ultimately sabotaging it.
Right. Yep. And then of course once he realizes that the game is rigged, he just burns it all down. But yeah, I think we get a scene here. I only have it in my notes as Jim Belushi's shirt, which is when they're on the roof talking over the plans, and he's wearing this Hawaiian shirt that looks like it's been like fresh out of the dryer.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I'm glad
It's
you're
another-
taking care of it.
It's a shirt that's a vibe. And I put it in my notes, and that's all I got on it. It's a good shirt. But they're going over the plans. Basically, he needs to be. In order to get into this safe, he needs to be able to, as he puts it later, walk into it. He needs some extra firepower for this.
Oh, it's a big safe. They can't drill it because it's custom built.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
big
know
safe.
where to.
So he asks his buddy, who I guess is like a friend of his, who like gives him tools and stuff. He asks him to build him something special for this. And
he does.
He does it. There's a bit where he can't get a kid and all that, so he talks to Leo about it, and Leo's like, I can get you a kid. Get you a kid right now. You want a kid?
Well, sort of.
Does not
Leo
ask-
sort of foists on him when.
Yeah, this
He
should be sign one that something is up, which is that you should never owe your boss anything.
Sort of a deal with the devil, if you will.
Ooh.
He does not ask. First of all, where this child's going to come from. He does not care. But also, he does not ask.
He asks a little bit about what black market means.
Also, it's Leo's idea. Just to reassert
Yeah, he
this.
puts it forth.
Like, they're talking about business, and then Leo's like, hey, what's eating you? Is it your family? I heard you tried to adopt a kid. I bet that didn't work.
Yeah, Right, because he's a manipulator. This is not for sure not the first time he's done this to somebody. Like, I guarantee you, he's done this to multiple people who work for him.
I don't think that the child.
I'm not talking about give
common.
a baby. I'm talking about using their social life to gain advantage over them.
I mean, the way he just like has this ready to go kind of suggests he's done a fair bit of human trafficking, though.
Yeah. He's also probably done that a little bit, but yeah. And then like I think he says like he's gonna get him a kid or whatever, and then literally like the next scene there's a child.
Did we mention he gives him the option of ethnicity?
Yeah. Yeah, true. And he picks a white one.
Does he ever actually hold this child or interact with the child?
Yeah, he does.
Only in the scene at the Chinese restaurant. I mean, he's not holding the child, but he does interact with the child because he's like, "You're David now."
He's happy.
Yeah.
He's trying his best, Keo. He means well.
This child is definitely just an object, though. Like to him.
Yes.
But
yes.
I don't think. I feel like he could have learned to be better about other people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he would have had a lot of time to do it if he got the money he wanted.
That's right. I mean, hypothetically, he could have, but at this point in time, it was literally just like this goal he had that you know, there's no real rationale behind it other than like I need to do this.
Yeah, I mean that's really it.
Society imports that goal onto you,
especially because this is a guy who he said he was 20 when he went to prison.
Yeah, and came out when he was 30.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it's just some kind of like, you know, it's an American dream thing, but they really, the way this whole thing goes down really shows how hollow it is for him. Really,
yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, oh, he's so happy to have this kid. It's just like, okay, the kid's there, and the kid has a name, and then that's it.
Yeah, I like the understatedness.
That's legitimately it.
Of this scene in the Chinese restaurant where the guy's like, "So what's the baby's name?" They're like, "No name." And
we just got.
There's like a beat where the guy's like, and he just leaves, and then like, the baby's name is David. And he's like, "That's a good name, David."
He's not shocked. He's just like,
Yeah, is this like the first time that like this is not the first time for him either? He's been where he's like, "Oh, that's a black market baby."
Maybe he was one.
Yeah.
Either that, or you just like these people are weird. I'm not.
Oh, I have his exact quote written down, which is he says, "That's a nice baby." Like it's a car.
Maybe Keo does have a point. Maybe there's like something going on in the screenplay that I didn't pick up on.
Right here is where Urizi pulls over Frank.
Buddy.
Hey, it's me, your buddy, Urizi. You're gonna give me 10 points. And Frank's like, "No. I'm actually not." And so we cut to him getting beaten up in the police precincts.
Well, no, there's some stuff that happens between then and now.
Is there?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's two separate scenes where he gets pulled over.
He drives off.
And then, yeah, he drives off in the first one. And then as some other stuff happens that I think we might have already covered, and then he gets pulled over a second time, and they arrest him.
And they smash his taillight.
Yeah, they're like, because they need a reason.
This is after pointing a shotgun at him and shouting, "Give me an excuse."
And so they're beating him up, and the beat up scene I noticed at one point, I think it's not Urizi as one of the other cops, just hits him with a phone book.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it.
Just hit him with a phone book, and so they're laying into this guy, and like I guess this is what like the police chief who comes in here, and he's like, "You're a real piece of work. You're a real piece of work, aren't you?
Hey,
you
could have done
this the easy way."
It's like, come on, give us a cut, please.
Yeah, please. Pretty much.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, all you had to do was give us a cut of what you're making, and then it could have been downhill from here, all easy for you, but no."
And then James Caan's like, have you ever considered pulling a score yourself?
Yeah. I love that James Caan is talking shit, and each time they have to hold back Eurizzi from beating him up some more. They're just like, hey. Because he keeps like, I'm gonna kill you. And then we get this scene here where they're following him and they're trying to tail him to see where he's going, and he loses them. They have like a tracker, right, that he puts on a bus. Yeah, and very good, very fun scene in terms of you see them trying to keep track of him, and then they lose him pretty quickly, and it cuts to them getting ready to do the job.
Also revisited in Heat.
True, yeah, different revisited in Heat in I think a different way,
different
in terms
way,
of how it's
but
shot
yeah.
and stuff.
But you also have the police guy meeting the crime guy, right before the big job that the movie hinges on.
Yeah, true. And this is a Michael Mann staple here, which is where we see the down and dirty, the gritty work it takes to crack a safe. It's just tedious stuff. You got to cut a hole in the roof. You got to find which things trigger which things go to the alarm, which wires, by going through all of them
with a voltmeter.
Yeah, until you find the ones that are attached to the alarm, and then you got to make your way down there. You got to start drilling your way in there, and it's not even a drill this time.
You're welding your way in.
Yeah, because we have a scene before, a really good scene, a well shot scene, where he's testing out his new toy, I guess you want to call it, his new tool,
his new torch.
Is it like a plasma cutter or something?
Yeah, I think so. There's a specific name for it that I saw, but I don't remember what it's called. An oxylance. But yeah,
sounds hardcore.
Yeah, it does sound pretty cool. Next time I play,
we should become welders.
Next time I play a tabletop game, I'm going to say my character has an oxylance.
They just lugging around.
Yeah, he's just lugging it around. He's a big. What if it's like a big, strong guy with an oxylance?
That sounds overpowered. It would do too much damage. I'd ban you from the game.
It's true, because it's a lot of fire coming out at once. But yeah, we get down. We see how long it takes to because they just take the door right off this thing pretty much, and get the gold, get everything. And he's like, once the door is down, he's like already taken off his all of his stuff. He's like, yeah, we did it. My last job forever. Can't wait to buy my boat.
The music's so triumphant.
Yeah, the music's so triumphant. He's walking on a beach, absolute top tier beach fit from this guy.
Yeah, this is all shot beautifully.
From James Caan.
The torching, the beach.
Oh yeah,
even though this is like the muddiest beach I've ever seen.
The entire heist scene is shot incredibly well. The way it goes, it cuts from in between where the inside the safe and outside of it.
Mm-hmm. You could basically pause on any frame and make a painting out of it.
Yeah, true. Although my favorite personal shots comes near the end, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, they're walking on the beach. James Caan wearing white slacks, no shoes, no shirt, beach fit.
Yeah, and I wish I was on the beach right now.
Yeah, I wish I was on the beach right now, being as hairy as James Caan is.
I am.
That was a great ending, though. Like, it just
yeah.
It was a great ending. It's sort of Gundam-esque, running on a beach. Nothing bad ever happens after that.
Yeah, it's like Double Zeta Gundam.
Yeah, I've watched that.
I've watched that.
But yeah, there's also it's him and his wife, and they're walking along, and then like Jim Belushi rises from the waves like a sea beast, and it's just like, hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm here enjoying this vacation too.
He's earned it.
I mean, yeah, he's having a fun time.
That did happen.
His fit not as immaculate as James Caan's. He's just wearing trunks.
Yeah,
it's like a Speedo.
That's why he's number 2 in this operation.
Yeah, so they get back from the vacation, and he's talking with his boss. And his boss is like, "So, how was the vacation? I bet it was a great time. Here's your money."
Oh, except I put like 3/4 of it into shopping malls. In
Shopping malls that he
Arizona.
said he didn't want.
In South California.
Yeah, he specifically says earlier that he does not like that idea, and he does it anyway. And
Yeah, and he's just like, and you're gonna be my little man.
We got another
basically.
job for you. You're going to make so much money.
yeah, he's like, "Hey, listen, I got you another job. You can do it anytime you want." And he's like, "I got you another job. It's coming up. You're gonna make so much more money." And he's like, "Listen."
He's like, what? Wait, well, he's like, hold on a second. No, I'm quitting, and I want my money in 24 hours, or I'm basically gonna murder you.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to get.
Starts to escalate a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I was gonna say this is where the movie's
Tensions heighten a little bit.
The movie's theme becomes way more obvious because I have this. I have the quote or part of the quote right here, which is he's saying, "You're making a big profit from my work, my risk, my sweat." And that's pretty much the whole gist of it right there, right? Which is that.
That is hashtag relatable, folks. Like, I feel that at my core.
Yeah, and he's like, "Listen, I'm out. The deal's done. Give me my money, and we're through here." So he leaves, and later, one of the things you might have learned by watching this movie, Keo, is that when it gets to nighttime, that's when Michael Mann comes out to play. Because nighttime scenes are like his bread and butter. Every nighttime scene in this movie is immaculate.
Is there a movie where he just like films the city, like the city lights for me, and plays some nice music, and then at the end he says, "Thank you for watching my film," and then he walks off into the horizon, which is also a beautiful cityscape.
I think usually there's probably like murder in between that.
And sex.
Yeah, murder and sex.
I mean, look, just get Michael Mann on the phone. Let me talk to him about this project.
Okay. But yeah, he goes to his car dealership because he's gonna talk to his buddy Jim, probably to give him the heads up on what's happening here. And they're already ahead of him, and they're waiting to ambush him, and Belushi tips him off and then gets just blown away. This is straight up GTA wasted. That Jim, it even goes in slow motion.
Yeah.
He just gets, yeah, it's sad. He gets slaughtered, and they beat him up real good, and they take him to, I guess, what is this, like the back of a restaurant or like a fast food place?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
back of Wimpy's Burgers.
Yeah, because he says he says if he messes up during the big terrifying speech that Prosky gives, he says he's going to be tasting you in the Wimpy Burgers. But it's a great.
I did some research.
Oh,
I did my own research on this one, and the Wimpy Burger is a real place named after the Popeye character.
Oh,
Mr. Wimpy, the guy who likes to eat hamburgers.
Oh yeah, he would trade you today for a hamburger or some shit.
Yeah, and this is not dangerous misinformation that I'm spreading. This is actually true.
Yeah, and then of course continuing on with the themes of the movie here, Leo gives this speech where he says, "That baby, it's mine. That house, mine. Your wife, mine."
I know writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Pretty much. I mean, like, there's no subtext needed. I mean, there is subtext in this movie. It's just that these dialogue scenes between him and Leo make it pretty clear about what the big message of the film. And then there's this quote that I have written down, which is, "I want you to work until you are burned out, you are busted, or you're dead."
Yeah, that is not subtle.
Yeah. I mean, he's the laborer. He's profiting off, or he's not the laborer. He's the boss. He's profiting off of your work, and you get a meager pittance, and you're just supposed to keep doing it. And then we get the cold shot of them throwing Belushi in this. I guess it's a vat of like fry oil or something. Deep fried.
Yeah, they're gonna make him into Wimpy burgers.
Yeah, deep fried Belushi. I feel bad for whoever ate that. So I love that it's immediately like, you're gonna work for us some more, and he's like, actually, no, I'm gonna just destroy everything.
He had a bad read on this guy. He was not.
Well, yeah, because like.
You didn't expect James Caan to be the Ubermensch, the man at the end of history.
Because he's done this before, probably, right? He's done this before, and the people have rolled over and accepted it. And this is the one dude that's like, no, actually.
Has he not run to anybody who was like really unstable doing his crime stuff before? Where he's
that's the thing. He's not stable. He's a man of clarity and purpose.
Yeah, that's the thing. The ridiculous thing is that he's stable.
I mean,
as stable as one could be, I guess, in this situation.
He's mentally self-consistent, yes. I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know about completely stable, but
I think he's a little volatile. I mean,
yeah, he's not stable completely, but I mean, like he's never shown to be at one point questioning his next move.
Oh, he really is Char Aznable, if you think about it.
A more savvy criminal would have noticed that maybe this guy is like possibly a risk there, and he doesn't need to like keep him around.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, that's the thing when you're the boss. You're used to being able to do this.
Yeah, I think this guy just had it too easy for too long, and he lost his edge.
Yeah, you have guys who will kill someone at the beck of your beck and call. And you are used to doing this to people in order to get what you want from them. And it always works out for you, so why would this be any different? And you just you pick the wrong guy, the guy who decides that, yeah, sure, he's got stuff to lose, but he's willing to literally get rid of all of it if it means making sure that you don't get to live.
That you don't get to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, he pretty much just...
It was... like the total last straw there. It was just like he was done at that point, just completely and utterly done.
I love the way it's framed in this movie too, because there's not a shot of him like thinking about it. Well, I mean there is. He's driving in the car, and that shot where the hood of the car, the lights are reflecting off of it, which is
beautiful.
10
out of 10.
10 out of 10.
He wasn't thinking about it. He was planning like his exact itinerary.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Where to get the gasoline.
Yeah. And that shot with the hood of the car, one of the best shots in the movie. Still not my favorite. Still to come. I think you can guess by now what it is, but we'll get there. So yeah, he goes home and he's like, "You're leaving. You're done." He basically goes in there and she's with the baby and they're like, and he's like, "You are through."
True.
It's like, "I used to have a baby. I don't have a baby anymore."
You are not my wife.
Yeah, and he's like, "Get out of town. You're gonna spend this driver guy. You're gonna give him this amount of money, this amount of months." And the entire time she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "This is done."
He's like, "I'm super ready to die over this. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm ready to die over, but I am."
Yeah, he doesn't explain anything. He explains nothing other than something went down. And he's just like, "It's through. It's over. It's done." And yeah, so he tells her to leave. She gets in the car, baby's crying and stuff, and they leave. And then he leaves the house, and it just blows up. Spectacular explosion.
And in case that wasn't enough, we see all of his businesses blow up.
Yeah, we see him blow up the bar first, and then get ready for this, guys. Favorite shot in the movie? Those flaming cars. The neon lights mixed with the flames from those cars. Come on,
Unfortunately, there's no one being dragged by the flaming car into more flaming cars, which then explode, all up Punisher.
True. What? Yeah. Of course, this movie not as good as Punisher, as we all know.
Not as good as Punisher.
But yeah, this is. It's good cinema right there. The shots of the neon lights with the bright flames of the cars. Come on, beautiful. And he gets rid of it all. And then of course he's there with the one car he had left because he's driving it. Crumples up his little collage, throws it away. Again, subtlety is for cowards. And yeah, we get to the final. This is like what, the last 10 minutes of the movie?
Yeah.
Is this it's all climax. There's no downward action.
Yeah, like Michael Mann was like looking at like the chart you see in school, and it has like the following action section, and he's just like, just cross that off.
He was like, what if you climbed the mountain and stayed there?
He doesn't really do falling action in any of his movies.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in it.
I mean, I think the closest he gets is like The Insider.
The falling action is what you're supposed to do at the credits. You're supposed to fall out of your seat in shock and awe. But yeah, Frank makes it to Leo's house, and he goes in there, and again, I mean, this guy is good at picking locks or like breaking into shit, and all you got with you is your 3 dudes.
Yeah, this really shows how the Mafia declined in the back half of the American century.
It's true. Although I feel like Frank would have been easily able to kill Tony Soprano too.
Oh yeah, Tony Soprano doesn't have any guys at his house.
It's true, ever. And it would probably be way easier to break into Tony's house.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is pretend to be a duck.
Better movie.
Quack, quack.
Yeah, he's not really on guard very much at all.
Yeah,
he's
not until
taking this guy seriously.
Yeah. So I mean, first mistake, you have a Taglia watching the kitchen? Come on.
Well, they were hanging out. He wasn't watching the kitchen. He was just actually getting something to eat.
Oh yeah, doesn't he say something like, you want some milk or some shit?
Yeah, he's his boyfriend.
Yeah, he even though his wife is there, I think. Because isn't there that part where he looks at the lady? Like,
yeah,
Frank,
I think that's his wife.
Frank stares at the lady for a second and then shows the gun, and she just keeps quiet.
Yeah, her reaction is just like, oh, well, I guess it was due to happen at some point.
Yeah, he's like, well, I guess the money train has stopped here. Also, for a guy who is the mob boss of the Chicago outfit, his house is pretty, it's just okay.
Like I said,
Frank has a better house than his.
Like I said, the Mafia was on the decline.
He's living like the upper middle class life there.
Yeah. But yeah, he breaks in, Taglia goes into the kitchen, and he just beats the shit out of this dude. And Leo hears him, obviously, and is waiting for him. And I think what I love the most about this is that there's there's no speech. There's no big, like, hey, we can talk about this. He just shows up and shoots him.
This fucking shootout, this is like Samurai Cop, but somehow it works.
There was actually, like, I think it was like 5 minutes of complete silence during this sequence, by the way.
Yeah.
To the point, like, if you were not watching, you would think the movie just ended suddenly.
Well, the shootout in Heat is sort of like that, too.
Yeah, there's no music and this is like one of, like, I think the only parts in the movie where there's no synth score playing until he shoots him, and then it just blares, and it doesn't stop until the credits are over.
Yeah, sort of like when Baby Blue starts playing at the end of Breaking Bad.
True. But yeah, he, that's what, I think this is what I like about this, is that there's no speech at all. Leo, I don't even think gets a word in. He just gets shot, and then he
gets got.
he mumbles some stuff, and then gets blown away again to make sure that he's actually dead.
He gets shot like 8 times.
Yeah. And then Frank goes outside because Tattaglia is running away, and the other goons show up. The shotgun guy who blew up his friend Belushi. He shoots him, and he falls to the ground. And he's wearing that vest. We find out he shoots him, shoots the other guy. I guess Tattaglia gets away, which good for him.
No, he gets shot. He gets got to.
Oh, Tattaglia.
Yeah, I was surprised he had a vest on. This was like a death run here.
Well, you gotta make sure he doesn't die too soon.
Yeah. Like, it's possible he did die. I don't know how well a bulletproof vest protects a shotgun blast.
It's too hard to see if it
I
went through or not. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think point blank it would do enough to save you, but it wasn't point blank.
It also depends on what round he was using.
Yeah. But yeah,
and also predicting bullet dynamics is more like art than exact science.
True. And also, none of it matters because the movie ends.
Yeah, it's just like he's walking. He's fine.
You just have to wonder what he does after this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this life is over, and so is the movie.
Will he pick up the pieces? Will he commit to it? Who knows?
Yeah, he's destroyed essentially his entire everything he's built, and he's put it like does he build it back up again? What does he do? Doesn't matter.
Still got the welder guy.
It's true. I don't think he can work in Chicago anymore.
Yeah.
Fun
fact: Al Pacino's character in Heat is mentioned as being a police detective in Chicago before coming to LA.
Huh.
Interesting.
He probably knew Urizi.
Is this like a shared universe we're talking about
I
here?
wish.
The Michael Mann cinematic universe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, you didn't stay around for the end credits then, I guess, Keo.
Where Al Pacino shows up and beats the shit out of Urizi.
Yeah, he says, Urizi, you have a big ass! And you got your head all the way up it. And that's just it. That's what he says.
I just want after credit scene where somebody's just like, I'm putting a team together.
It's Michael Mann.
The Manhunters.
Oh, it's Will Graham. He comes in and he says he's putting a team together.
And they're hunting Michael Mann.
They're hunting Hannibal Lecter.
But yeah, it's a great. It's the end of the movie. It's just that's it.
And what can we say? It's the greatest of all time.
Listen, it's a great movie. One of the best to ever.
It was a bad movie.
Oh, okay. Cook.
Ooh, okay. Let's see what's he cooking.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Too
Michael
boring.
Mann.
Too many shots of nothing.
He thinks he can just point the camera at something and I'm going to be entertained by it. He thinks he can just have people go, just talking, blah, 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 blah. And he thinks that like there was only one action scene and it was mostly quiet and tense, which was not entertaining at all. And you know what else I have to say about this movie?
Tune in.
Yeah, it's a tune in. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Vibes were immaculate. Just chef's kiss.
If you would like to hear us discuss more Michael Mann films, you can always hit us up on Buy Me a Coffee.
That's true. All you gotta do is go over to buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners. A single coffee, a single episode. Just like this.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's a unanimous tune in here, I think. I mean, I'm not changing my opinion. This is a great movie.
The perfect film.
Yeah, thanks, some guy.
Yeah, thank you for this joy that you brought to our life. And the joy continues next time around because we're continuing through our Buy Me a Coffee backlog here while we're watching a little animated show that I've never heard of called Fat Dog Mendoza.
Oh!
Expect a lot of Simpsons references to that name next week when we
That's all we got.
A big dog and whatever he's doing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's not going to be by Michael Mann, that's for sure. But until
Well,
next,
as far as you know,
it's true. It'd be great if there was like one episode that he did.
on accident.
Well, I think he did do an episode of Two Stupid Dogs.
Michael Mann?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. The episode where they go to the Grand Canyon. That was him.
Whoa,
That's why it had so many vibes.
that's wild. Yeah, well, because that's true. Because when I think of Two Stupid Dogs, I do think that's a show with some vibes to it.
That's the show where they go to the Grand Canyon.
That's a show that has, of all the Cartoon Network shows, the one with the most vibes. Two Stupid Dogs.
Also, it wasn't even a Cartoon Network show. They just rebroadcasted it there.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true.
think it was like UPN or something stupid
That's
like
true.
that.
I always forget that.
Also, like half the show wasn't even about the dogs; it was about like something else.
We
like a
can't even
mole.
remember.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. There was like a MI mole.
Secret
or whatever.
Agent Squirrel?
Secret Squirrel, yeah.
Way less successful than I Am Weaseler.
It's true. I Am Weasel, I think, was also Michael Mann produced that, he didn't direct it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so until next week, where we're watching a fat dog, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners fact of the week. Did you know that somebody broke into a safe and they did not steal Stairmaster from it? They just kind of tossed him aside.
I wasn't worth the trouble.